Before the invasion, Earth was a place of peace, filled with laughter, sunlight, and the gentle rustle of leaves. Families picnicked in sprawling parks, children played tag in backyards, and life unfolded in a blissful routine. Yet, beneath this veneer of tranquility, a storm was brewing, one that humanity could never have foreseen. Captain Jared Marks often reflected on those days while sitting at the command center, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the tense energy of his team. He was a man shaped by time and conflict, his gray hair and weary eyes betraying the weight of leadership. He recalled the simplicity of those pre-invasion days, the way the sun set behind the hills, casting golden hues over the landscape. That was before they realized Earth was no longer theirs alone. The first signs of trouble had been subtle. Odd readings in the atmosphere, inexplicable weather patterns, and mysterious disturbances in the ocean. Scientists initially dismissed them as anomalies, mere glitches in the data. But soon, the anomalies became too frequent to ignore, and humanity was thrust into a reality they were ill-prepared for. As Jared stood before a group of recruits, their eager faces illuminated by the glow of the holographic display, he couldn't help but remember his own early days in the military. The raw determination in their eyes mirrored his youthful ambition. They were bright-eyed, ready to make their mark on the world, but they were about to learn that true warfare was a test of resilience, not just strength. "Gather around," he instructed, his voice steady. "Today, we're not just discussing tactics. We're sharing a legacy forged in blood, sweat, and the relentless spirit of Earth." He activated the hologram, and the room filled with vivid images of the Krell, the alien race that had descended upon Earth, believing they could conquer and exploit its resources. With their exoskeletons glinting in the light, the Krell were a fearsome sight, towering over any human with their monstrous size and advanced weaponry. "They thought they could walk in here, take what they wanted, and leave," Jared continued, scanning the faces of the recruits. They had no idea what they were up against. He let the gravity of his words sink in, remembering the initial encounters where the Krell had underestimated humanity's resolve. The first wave of the invasion had been brutal, with cities falling one after another. But humanity's spirit had begun to awaken, pushing back against the tide. The recruits leaned in, eager for every word, their fascination evident. The initial clash had occurred in the heart of the Midwest. Jared had been in the thick of it, leading a squadron through the open fields of Kansas, where cornfields stretched endlessly toward the horizon. The air was heavy with humidity, the atmosphere charged with the impending conflict. "Back then, we thought we were prepared," he recalled. "But no amount of training could ready us for the chaos that was to come." On that fateful day, the Krell had landed, their massive ships casting shadows over the landscape. Jared's team had been positioned nearby, their hearts pounding in their chests as they awaited orders. Suddenly, a thunderous roar erupted as the Krell emerged from their crafts, weapons raised. The soldiers exchanged glances, fear mingling with adrenaline. "They moved in a coordinated manner, thinking they could easily dispatch us," Jared said, his voice tinged with anger. "But we had something they didn't, an understanding of our land." As the Krell advanced, they began to set up their technology, believing they had the upper hand. But nature had other plans. The sky darkened, clouds rolling in like a tidal wave, and soon, torrential rain began to fall, pounding down on the unsuspecting invaders. "Earth fought back," Jared exclaimed, a sense of pride swelling within him. "That day, we didn't fire a single shot. The storm obliterated their ranks, tossing them about like rag dolls." The recruits listened in rapt attention, their eyes wide as Jared recounted the day they had turned the tide of the battle. The memories played in his mind like a movie, the chaos, the noise, and the realization that they were not alone in this fight. As the Krell began to retreat, the earth shook beneath their feet, the ground vibrating with the pulse of nature's wrath. It was a turning point that transformed the battlefield, shifting the balance of power. Jared's team seized the moment, pushing forward, driven by the adrenaline of unexpected victory. They knew they had struck a blow against the invaders, igniting a spark of hope among the remaining human forces. But victory was fleeting. The Krell, unyielding in their ambition, quickly adapted. The second wave of the invasion brought with it enhanced technology and a newfound caution. They had learned from their mistakes, and their approach became more calculated. Jared remembered the moment they had landed in the jungles of South America. The dense foliage, vibrant and alive, had provided a different kind of challenge. The humidity clung to their skin as they moved through the underbrush, every sound amplified in the oppressive heat. The Krull believed they could dominate the jungle, he explained to the recruits, but they were still at a disadvantage. They were strangers in a world that was ancient and wild. As they advanced, the Krell encountered unforeseen obstacles. The creatures of the jungle, predators that had evolved over millions of years, began to view the alien intruders as threats. The local wildlife, from jaguars to snakes, attacked without hesitation, disrupting the Krell's formations and sowing confusion among their ranks. "We became their hunters," Jared said, recalling the thrill of the hunt. They didn't know how to survive in a world that was so alive. His team, armed with knowledge of the terrain and the instincts to blend into their surroundings, struck swiftly and silently. The Krell never saw them coming as they unleashed traps and ambushes, leveraging the environment to their advantage. The team's operations deepened in the jungle, with Jared often reflecting on the bond they had formed with the land. They were not just fighting against an alien species, they were defending their home. Each battle felt personal, each victory a testament to their resilience. Every night, we gathered around the fire, sharing stories and strategies, he reminisced. We became a family, united in purpose. But darkness loomed, and as the battles raged on, they soon discovered that the Krell were not the only enemies they faced. They began to encounter other factions, humans who had turned against their own kind, believing that surrendering to the Krell was the only path to survival. These traitors believed that by collaborating with the Krell, they could secure a place in the new order the aliens intended to establish. These traitors, Jared said with disdain. They thought they could betray humanity for a false sense of security. But the Krell had no intention of sparing anyone. Tensions rose as skirmishes broke out between the Loyalists and those who had succumbed to fear. Jared's team found themselves caught in a web of conflict, facing both the Krell and their fellow humans, each battle testing their resolve and unity. The jungle grew darker, not just from the shadows of trees, but from the heavy weight of betrayal that lingered in the air. Jared felt the strain on his team as they navigated the murky waters of human treachery. They faced ambushes from rogue factions that sought to undermine their efforts.
Every encounter was a lesson, Jared told the recruits. We had to learn not just to fight the Krell but to safeguard ourselves from those who would destroy us from within. In one harrowing battle, Jared and his men had been cornered by a group of traitors who had aligned themselves with the Krell, believing they could gain favor. They had set traps, laid in wait, and the ambush nearly cost them their lives. Trust became a rare commodity, he said, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. But we learned to rely on one another, on the bonds we had forged. The fight was brutal, with lives lost on both sides. But the true battle was against despair. Jared fought not just to save humanity but to preserve the spirit that defined them. They had to unite against all odds, reminding themselves of the strength that came from their shared purpose. As the conflict escalated, Jared's team began to notice changes in the environment. Nature itself seemed to respond to the turmoil, sending floods to wash away the trails of the Krell and reviving the wildlife that had been pushed to the brink. Every time we were pushed back, Earth pushed back harder, Jared reflected. It was a reminder that we were never alone. They learned to harness the power of nature, using it to their advantage. Jared recalled a pivotal moment when they had set fire to the underbrush to create a diversion, drawing the Krell into a vulnerable position. The flames danced through the trees, illuminating the night sky as they fought against the alien menace. With every pulse of thunder, they advanced, the rain mixing with the earth, transforming the battlefield into a treacherous mire. The Krell's advanced technology faltered, their systems glitching under the relentless onslaught of water and wind. Nature was our ally, Jared declared, pride swelling within him as he recalled their strategy. We fought not just with weapons but with the very ground beneath our feet. Their victories became a symbol of hope. News spread of their exploits, inspiring others to join the fight. As more recruits enlisted, the coalition against the Krell grew stronger, and humanity began to realize that they could reclaim their planet. The time had come for a final confrontation. With the coalition strengthened and Earth's forces united, Jared felt a surge of determination. They had a plan, one that would require every ounce of courage and skill they had honed over the years. Today, we fight not just for survival but for our future, he declared to the assembled troops, their faces illuminated by the dim light of the command center. We will show the Krell that we are unbreakable. The weight of his words hung in the air as he surveyed the faces of his comrades. They were battle-worn yet resolute, their eyes gleaming with a fire that mirrored his own. They launched their assault on the Krell stronghold deep within the jungle, a fortress built from the remnants of their ships. The atmosphere crackled with tension as they approached, ready to face their enemy. Jared could feel the pulse of the jungle beneath his feet, the rhythmic beat of life urging them forward. The battle was fierce, each side refusing to back down. The sound of gunfire echoed through the trees as Jared led the charge, adrenaline coursing through his veins. They fought through waves of Krell's soldiers, every victory spurring them forward. As the smoke cleared, they found themselves at the heart of the stronghold. The Krell's command center loomed before them, a labyrinth of metal and alien technology. Push forward. Jared yelled, rallying his team. We're taking this fight to them. They breached the command center, a fierce firefight erupting within its walls. Jared's heart raced as he faced the Krell commander, a towering figure that embodied the fear and aggression of its kind. The clash between them was the culmination of everything they had fought for, a testament to humanity's indomitable spirit. With a final surge of strength, Jared and his team defeated the Krell commander, the tide of the battle shifting in their favor. As they emerged from the chaos, the sun broke through the clouds, illuminating the battlefield. In that moment of triumph, Jared realized they had not only fought for their survival but had reclaimed their planet. The world was theirs once more, the battle scars a testament to their resilience. Look at what we've accomplished, he said, addressing his team, their faces tired yet filled with pride. We fought not just for ourselves but for every life that calls this planet home. The jungle around them began to heal, nature reclaiming its space as the Krell ships lay in ruins. Humanity had learned from their struggle, forging a new understanding of their relationship with Earth, a partnership rather than a dominion. Jared stood at the edge of the jungle, looking out over the horizon. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, a reminder that even after the darkest nights, dawn would always come. He turned back to his team, now comrades bound by shared experience. This is our world, he proclaimed. And we will protect it, not just from invaders but from ourselves. We are the guardians of Earth. The recruits nodded, their spirits renewed. They had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, united by a common purpose. They understood now that their role extended beyond warfare. They were stewards of the planet, champions of life, fighting for a future where nature and humanity coexisted in harmony. As they prepared for the journey ahead, Jared felt a sense of hope swell within him. They had faced extinction, yet they had thrived, rising to meet the challenges of an unpredictable world. And in the heart of chaos, they had found their strength, a strength that no alien force could ever take away. Months passed since the battle, and the world began to heal. Reconstruction efforts flourished in cities once ravaged by war. The scars of the past were not forgotten but became part of a narrative that inspired a generation. Schools reopened, and children played once more in the streets, their laughter echoing in the air. Jared often visited the sites of their victories, standing alongside his comrades as they shared stories of bravery and sacrifice. These places remind us of our resilience, he would say, gesturing to the landmarks that now stood as symbols of hope. The collective spirit of humanity grew stronger, with communities coming together to honor those who had fallen. A festival was organized to celebrate their survival, and Jared found himself standing before a crowd of thousands. They had gathered in the heart of the city, a place once engulfed in flames, now filled with life and laughter. He stood on a stage adorned with flowers and banners, the energy of the crowd palpable. "We are the architects of our destiny," he began, his voice resonating through the air. "Together, we have faced the abyss and emerged victorious." The crowd erupted in cheers, their faces filled with hope. "But our fight does not end here," he continued. "We must protect what is ours, not just from those who seek to conquer us, but from the shadows within." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle in. "We must learn to coexist with this planet, to nurture it as it has nurtured us." The response was overwhelming, and Jared could feel the collective determination in the air. They understood that the battles they fought were not just against alien invaders but against the destructive forces within themselves. In the following years, Earth transformed. Technology adapted to enhance harmony with nature, sustainable practices took root, and communities flourished with new ideas and innovations. Jared remained at the forefront, a leader not just in the military but in the ongoing efforts to ensure the world would never forget the lessons they had learned. "We must honor the sacrifices made," he often reminded those around him. "For those who came before us and for those who will follow." The bond between humanity and nature became a guiding principle. Schools integrated environmental studies into their curriculum, teaching children the importance of preserving their world. New leaders emerged, inspired by the courage displayed in the face of adversity. Jared watched as young activists rose, advocating for sustainable practices and forging connections with the land. He felt a sense of pride swell within him, knowing that they were building a future grounded in respect and understanding. Years later, as Jared walked through a thriving park, he marveled at how far they had come. The flowers bloomed brighter than ever, the trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the laughter of children echoed all around him. He paused at a monument dedicated to those who had fought and fallen during the Krell invasion. It stood as a testament to resilience, a reminder of the darkness they had overcome. As he placed his hand on the cold stone, memories washed over him, faces of friends, allies, and the lives they had saved. "Thank you," he whispered, a solemn promise that their sacrifices would never be forgotten. He turned to see a group of children playing nearby, their faces radiant with joy. They were oblivious to the scars of the past, yet their existence was a testament to the strength of humanity. "This is our legacy," he thought, feeling a swell of hope. A world reborn, a future filled with possibility. In the quiet moments of reflection, Jared found peace. He knew that while challenges would always arise, humanity had proven its resilience time and time again. They had faced the darkest of nights and emerged stronger, forging bonds that transcended boundaries. The stories of the past would continue to inspire future generations, ensuring that they would never forget the lessons learned. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the park, Jared felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were the guardians of Earth, protectors of life, and he vowed to continue the fight, not just against external threats but for the very essence of what it meant to be human. Together, they would ensure that the legacy of survival transformed into one of harmony, respect, and love for the planet they called home. As he left the park, he felt the warmth of the sun on his face and heard the rustling leaves whispering their secrets. The Earth was alive, and so was humanity. They had found their strength, and they would carry it forward, ensuring that the future would remain bright, hopeful, and full of promise.